Okay, so this is the Immortal Assassin build, Unkillable Warframe build, and Synergy. Let's get into it.
Before we get into more details about the upcoming Heart of Deimos update, let's take a break and be mesmerized by the progression of Harrow in the game. 2 years ago, if I had told you that Harrow can tank, you would just laugh at me. Also, 2 years ago, if I told you that Harrow can do solo endurance runs while moving around the map effortlessly, then you might have told me that I was cheating and using the overpowered Nariman's infinite invisibility. This is a fact in the past. No matter how high your shields are, or no matter how good you are at keeping your overshields, it doesn't matter, as once high-level enemies hit it, you will lose all of that hard work in a matter of seconds. No safe.
Oh, right. So he's talking about, like, the pre-shield gating days. That's what he's talking about. That's why Harrow can survive a lot more now, because of shield gating. But at the same time, though, I would have thought that, like, Harrow would be tanky enough as is, because Penance is really good at just healing you. If you have a weapon that's capable of doing some really good damage on a near constant basis, you're you're practically invulnerable, no? Anyway, let's keep going.
Safety cushion, and definitely pointless going with a pure shield build. But things have changed over time, and there are many features introduced in the game that slowly made shields actually matter in the game. The first one was the addition of the adaptation mod. It may not give you enough confidence to run a shield-based build, but what it gives is a safety cushion so you can somehow have the time to regenerate your shield.
Why is that Stalker just sitting there? What's
for
happening?
A specific damage type makes it a good pick, especially when paired with a max-rank Arcane Aegis. But the true MVP for the likes of Harrow is shield gating. This is an effect that occurs when shields are fully depleted, which prevents any excess damage leaking into the health pool. Not only frames, but also companions gain 1.3 seconds of invulnerability upon hitting the shield gate, only resetting when shields are allowed to fully replenish. If the shield is still in the process of recharging after the gate has activated, the shield...
Whoa, hold on. Your boy just actually, your boy, he says, that's probably not the right way of saying it, but anyway, he just used Thurible for a grand total of, like, a second, and now he's only getting 1 energy per kill. I would highly recommend not doing that.
The gate will only last for 0.33 seconds. So, our goal is to regenerate shields as fast as possible, and that can be done easily with the right mod setup. In fact, some frames can regenerate shields fast enough that you only need a few tweaks to make them immortal. The likes of Hildren, which we will discuss on a future video, and the likes of Harrow can be immortal just by building a shield setup for them right now.
The likes of Mag as well, because basically the way I've got Mag at the moment with an actually lower shield count, what that means is that when you press 3, you're basically invulnerable. That's it. If you get a headshot, you get a grand total of 4 energy, so you kind of want to be able to build more energy through your Thurible first before you do that. Notice how his energy count is, like, getting really, really low. Yeah, if he actually let his Thurible go for a few more seconds as opposed to, like, 1 second, he might at least be from 62, he might be up to, like, 200-ish, maybe, I don't know. Wild guess.
Note that what I will be showing you is a solo setup for Harrow, which you can use for any high-level missions. As you may all know, Harrow can be modded for a couple...
If you get headshotted, no shit. Oh, no, the headshot is only for enemies. I don't think they can headshot. I don't even know if enemies can even headshot you. Do you even have a headshot multiplier on yourself? That's a big question. I don't know. I don't think so. What are you gonna do? I'll talk about that in a second. Navuv.
Full of purposes, but in this video, we will discuss a solo build for him. So basically, what you need is a mix of duration, range, and power strength. This build will make all of Harrow's ability efficient and effective. He can condemn a group of enemies.
Hold on, let's compare this build to the Harrow build that I'm using, the triple augment Harrow build. So obviously this one is not a triple augment build, so obviously keep that in mind. That means that he's got more space to put in things like transient fortitude, natural talent, and stuff like that. The build I normally run is a triple augment build, because I think Harrow's augments are, like, freaking insane, hilarious, awesome, like, big dick shenanigans. So let's bring up my Harrow real quick. The only thing I'm really going to be comparing are just, like, the stats per se. So, what GHS is doing So first thing to notice, GHS is going for 100% efficiency. I personally don't agree with 100% efficiency on Harrow because Harrow is able to get himself a lot of energy through Thurible. It's kind of why running 45% efficiency, in my opinion, is perfectly fine because Thurible is so goddamn strong, right? Because he's running 100% efficiency, it means he can't run like ludicrous amounts of power strength, which means his strength is lower. Whereas I'm running 199%. I could go higher if I don't use Warding Thurible, which, by the way, in Steel Path doesn't seem to be all that effective. So I could actually swap that out for Intensify, and I'm going 229% power strength. Food for thought. Hang on, I think in terms of duration... I'm going for more duration as well.
Can benefit a lot from both Penance and Thurible, and will be able to use Covenant for...
Oh, he does have more base... He does have more shield, though. I'm not even going for any of that shenanigan. I could go Redirection, personally, but I'd rather go Vitality just because I can heal off Penance. So just on the off chance that, like, toxin damage shows up, it's probably better to have Vitality, because Harrow can get a lot of shields just point blank anyway. So anyway, let's move on.
Both safety and increase in critical damage. Also, be sure to have natural talent so you will have a faster casting speed for all his abilities. Lastly, add lots of shields on your build with Redirection and Primed Vigor. And then, finish the build with both Adaptation and Primed Sure-Footed. Adaptation is
Oh, he's using Primed Sure-Footed. That's a good choice. That's a really, really good choice. I wonder, query on why he's using Adaptation when he clearly has that much space left. If he does a full, I don't know, let's just listen to him.
Yes, and you want this on your build because it does work with shield, and the damage reduction from a specific damage type will allow you to regain your shield back faster than the enemy damage.
Hold on, I need to go backwards.
Then, finish the build with both Adaptation and Primed Sure-Footed. Adaptation is obvious, and you want this on your build because it does work with shield, and the damage reduction from a specific damage type will allow you to regain your shield back faster than the enemy damaging it, while Primed Sure-Footed will give you 100% knockdown resistance, which is very helpful especially against high-level enemies. The build alone will give you a lot of survivability because of the shield gating and as well as the life.
Actually, he might be onto something with one specific thing, which is instead of Intensify, if I just go back to using Triple Augment, Prime Vigor might actually make a little bit more sense. That might actually be a bit better. Anyway, that's just a random thought. Maybe that's better. Still query on why he's not fully maxed out his Adaptation yet, though. Not entirely sure what the logic is behind that.
Alone will give you a lot of survivability because of the shield gating and as well as
Prime
the
Sure-Foot is really nice.
You have on Penance.
I highly recommend that mod if you can fit it in.
If you want your Harrow to be truly unkillable, then I suggest you try the Assassin's Dagger of Immortality, Rakta Dark Dagger. This dagger will ensure that you will have overshield always and constantly benefit from the shield gating mechanic. This Harrow build and synergy is pretty easy to use. First, you just need to maintain your shield with either Rakta Dark Dagger or your Condemn ability. Then cast Covenant always before casting either Thurible and Penance. Rinse and repeat. Honestly, this is the most fun version of Harrow that I have played in a while. I do love the other synergies that I have featured on this channel, but so far, this is on top because as you all know, I always prefer being able to move around the map while playing. I understand that sometimes, camping is the best, especially if you are using squishy frames in an endless survival run, but admit it or not, it's boring staying in one spot. I hope that you like...
I find it interesting that he's actually using Infested as an example of this footage, because Infested, they have a lot of toxin damage. Well, some of them have toxin damage. So Immortal Shield builds, not good against like enemies that do toxin damage for obvious reasons. It's just gonna go through your shields. But otherwise, yeah, it's fine, I guess.
Like this synergy, and be sure to check back later as I will be discussing one major feature of the Heart of Deimos that could possibly revive player versus player experience on this game.
Ooh, I wonder if he's going to talk about the Gundams.
Also, before you go, I will leave you with my Harrow fashion frame. I hope you like.
All right, cool. That's it. So yeah, I it's fine. It's not a bad build. Like, there are some things that I would probably question here. There's one thing I will say though. I feel like he might be putting a little bit too much into the shields as well. Because look at it this way. the shield gate that he's talking about that actually makes you invulnerable, in order to actually get that shield gate, you actually need to let your shields replenish all the way to max. So what that actually means is it's actually harder to get that shield gate to happen if you have way more shields in the form of 1,440 shields as a base, or not a base, as like your going into the game kind of shields, as opposed to, say, running less shields. Because if you run less shields, then your shields can naturally replenish faster. And also, if you're using Harrow, you don't necessarily need to hit that many enemies with your Condemn in order to actually regenerate the shields to its quote-unquote max. You actually kind of want less shields as a result. It's kind of why, if, for example, like, if I was running Mag, right? So here I have Mag, and right now I have only 450 shields. Now you may be thinking, damn, why are you only running 450 shields? Don't you want more shields? No, I don't. And the reason why is because if I have more shields, if I actually put redirection and go up to 1,110 shields, I would actually need to use Polarize like 2 or 3 times. Two times. I'd actually need to use Polarize twice in order to actually get that hard shield gate to happen again. So ironically enough, I think it's not such a good idea to build for shields, per se, if you're trying to make use of the hard shield gate. Does that make sense, everyone? Does that make sense? I'm just gonna revive Conclave. Yeah, man, I reckon so too. We'll talk about that in a second, but that's what I reckon. Therefore, based on that theory, it would stand to reason that if you're running a Harrow with only 780 shields, hell, I would probably still stick with actually, based on that theory alone, I'd probably still stick with the base 450 shields, because at least then, like, when you use Condemn, if you hit like 1 or 2 enemies tops, oh no, yeah, you hit 2 enemies with Condemn, with my build, you hit 2 enemies with Condemn, you have your shields back, you get that hard shield gate immediately. That's already available for you. Whereas if we use GHS's build of 1,440, you'll need to hit divide by 300, so you need to hit 5 enemies. So instead of hitting 2 enemies, you need to hit 5 enemies in order to get that hard shield gate back, so that you become invulnerable for a few seconds, so that you can use it again. That's what the problem with using high shield builds. You basically actually need to do more in order to get that invulnerability. The only thing, the main thing that actually makes this build better than mine is because he has more shields as a number to begin with. That means that when he reaches his maximum overshields of, I think it was like 3840, that means he has way more shields, way more overshields than mine, which is like 2 something rather. I can't remember what it is. What that means is, or 2850, that's what it is. My overshield maximum on my build is 2850. His overshield maximum is 3840 or something like that. What that means is, if he decides to use, is it Penance? Yeah, if he decides to use Penance, his Penance is going to last way longer than mine. But that's it. But he's running less power strength than I am, therefore his Penance is actually going to be a little weaker than mine. In terms of like the bonuses that you get from it. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Anyway, that's pretty much it. To end the video, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments and all that jazz, if you disagree with me massively for various reasons, feel free to hit me up in the comments, because, you know, that's what they're there for and all that jazz. Otherwise, until next time, for the video purposes, I'll see you guys later.